What's good? Welcome back to another edition of That Talk podcast. I go by the name of Bacon. I got my co-hosts with me.
I'm in full Raider Reasons mode. Full. I'm all in.
Big game.
I'm all in, man. If I would have planned this right, I'd probably be in Vegas tomorrow. But I didn't plan it right. For real. Because I didn't know that we didn't have work till Tuesday. So I had an extra day. So if I'd have planned this right, I'd probably be in Vegas right now.
Let's put up or shut up time. Let's put up or shut up. Let's go.
Definitely gonna talk about some playoffs because it is put up and shut up time. But I guess AB said I ain't shutting up for nothing because he threw Tom Brady under the bus in a podcast. Not only did he throw, but he said that they forced him to play with an injury. And it was trying to send him back out there with an injury. And that's the real reason why, quote unquote, he left and didn't want to play no more. And we're in this debacle and the Bucks have released him. What are y'all thoughts on this whole AB debacle? Because it's all over the place right now. It's all over the place.
Because it's all over the place, I'm gonna try to clip notes this and give my quick take. Like when you hear AB report about being forced to play, that's so sketchy to me, man. Like that forced to play thing, I feel like it's sketchy. And it's not that it's sketchy on his behalf. I feel like it's sketchy on both parts because it's like your incentives are there. So you have a reason to play. And then the Bucks need wide receiver depth, so they have a reason to play. So I feel like that right there is 50-50, especially coming off the week before you had 10 catches for 100 and something. Your ankle was probably bothering you then, but you fought through it. So that's where that is. Then, like I said, with me, even if that was the case and say his ankle was hurt and say the coach came to him and did all that and released him or cut him right then and there, there's a way that you exit. There's a way that you handle that as a professional, especially with your history, to where it doesn't look as bad. And then when you come out with your story, your credibility is sound. You feel me? It's like, okay, AB, damn, you really handled that totally different. You feel me? My biggest thing is the true sign of growth is when you're presented with a situation that you're presented with a situation and how you handle it and you do it opposite of what you've been doing normally, that's growth.
Discipline, exercising discipline. I could act ignorant like this, but I'm going to choose the high road. That's growth, man. That's maturity.
Thank you. And so the way he acted, it damn near takes away any credibility a little bit of what he came out and presented. And then my last thing, for you to come out and throw Tom Brady under the bus, bro, like, yeah, your friendship can be real platonic. It could be business wise, but that's what it was to begin with. You feel me? Like, so now all of a sudden, when now you checking Gronk pockets, like that's bro code. You ain't never supposed to be checking another man's pockets. Worried about what another man making compared to what you not making, and worried about if Tom Brady was able to get Gronk some money and not you. Like, bro, that's beyond, that's code ethics from the hood 101. And it's just like, he just does things, man, that question everything about who he is just as a person. Football-wise, you could never question that. But as just a human being, there are a lot of questions that raise so many concerns about his mental health, his well-being, his circle, and all that other stuff. So that's where I'm at it with AB.
Bro. So I watched that Full Send podcast.
You watched the whole thing?
I like fast forward through clips, and I was just I watched probably about 70% of it. Okay. And I was specifically looking for the context around Tom Brady. And I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out with him tossing Tom Brady under the bus. You know, what he kind of reiterated with his point was that can't no man do it by himself. And then he centered it to his trainer and, you know, how, you know, that whatever that paleo.
But not to cut you off, if you really look at the history, right? And because my boy brought the trainer up, Brady's trainer has been fraudulent to everyone except Brady. I know that, and I'm not even in the league.
Exactly. But the context here that he absolves himself. Now, again, I thought so low of Antonio Brown off the field that podcast actually, he had nowhere to go but up. So I'm like, he's got some common sense, but the problem is he's so vain and he's so swaggy and he's so into himself, and he doesn't understand that from a physical end of your prime, bro, you're on the 15th hole. And the thing is the NFL don't care anymore. So you're sitting here operating under the pretense like somebody else is going to offer you a contract. And if it was just your football, you all-time great on the 15th hole is still good enough to get a job, bro. But ain't no GM going to sign you off of what just happened. And they're asking him questions about the Hall of Fame. He's like, wow, I'm still a player. I'm like, bro, they're asking him about how do you deal with people on the internet coming at you, the media. And he's like, bro, it's kumbaya, man. You got to just get your mentals right, man. You just got to surround yourself with the right people that'll lift you up. I'm like, yeah, you got too many uplifting yes man people around you, bruh. Like to the point where you are delusional about how people are, your perception and how people are going to treat you. And it's like, and he spent the whole show deflecting, like, I ain't here to talk about, what the coach was thinking or what the other players were thinking. I can only tell you how I was treated. I was like, dude, you're looking at this in a vacuum. Ain't nobody looking at this in a vacuum. Even if you can win the merits of my ankle's busted, right? None of it substantiates. Nobody who signs you and you're a part of the team and you just won a Super Bowl, they come up to you and say, get in the game or you're done. They do that when you're on your last leg, when you smoked up every chance, when you've presented a fraudulent vaccination card, when they couldn't count on you for a month because you were suspended, when you are up to shenanigans in the locker room, and then you get hurt and you're crying wolf and you're presenting this case to everybody. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, so maybe they did overreact in the moment. Maybe the coach is an asshole and he just was out of pocket with it.
And I agree.
But you are absolving everything that led up to the moment. And if you watch him, he just deflects all those questions like a pro. And he was almost like bullying the dudes because it's like, don't question me. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I was like,
we got AB on our podcast, and it's like,
exactly,
do we want to blow it?
Yeah. Exactly.
Instead of being honest. Because even the point where he said, who on that roster is better than me?
So Mike Evans is
come on, man.
Like not right now, not all time. Your peak was better than Mike Evans, and that's no question. But we talking about right now, you ain't more valuable. I'm not going to say he's not. That's subjective. But what I'm going to say is you walking around like here like you King Dingling. Sorry, bro.
Come on.
Let's be honest. With the whole AB thing, I think the root of it all is money. It's all about the Benjis, baby. And I think right now he was hurt. He didn't get the bonus. He wasn't getting no catches and no attempts thrown at him, and he was in his feelings. Now if he's hurt,
but he had 5 for 3 catches in the first half. He on his way to at least another 5 to 7 in the second, and they losing.
No. But I hear you. I hear you. But what I'm getting at is that in AB's mind, that's not enough. AB always feel like he's been the number one guy. Throw me the ball. If I'm open or even if I'm covered, throw me the ball. I'm the best receiver out there. You've seen it in the podcast. When you tell a man who's better on that team than me, in his mind, AB feels like he's the best receiver in the game or even on that team. So if I'm the best receiver, I should be getting more looks than Gronk, than Evans, than Godwin or Goodwin. All these receivers, I'm number one, bro.
Hey, so here's the thing though. Here's what contradicts, right? You're sitting over here saying when people need to treat you, they need to treat you normal. They need to treat you fair. They need to treat you equal. But then when you getting into a vanity piston contest about who's better than me on the roster, then you want the special treatment. And it's like he wants all the best parts of being number one, the diva, the HNIC, but then don't want to deal with the other parts. And it's like, you're saying you're better. What do I have to do? I don't need money. And then you over here on the other hand, on the other side of your mouth, complaining about why am I on a prove it deal? My ninja, you on a prove it deal because you old, you drama, and you on the 15th hole. That's why you want to prove a deal. And
that goes back to his whole vax card situation, right? Because vaccinated players get treated differently than unvaccinated players.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
If I lie about being vaccinated, my treatment and how I can operate around the facility is different than if I told the truth that, nah, I ain't vaccinated yet, but I plan on doing it, blase, blase, blah. So like Jay, you hit it right on the head. He operating out of both sides of his mouth. And that becomes part of that issue that is hard for him, Bate, to hold real credibility when he's not even holding it. He never holds himself accountable for none of his actions. If he was at some point would have walked in and been like, I take full accountability for how I acted with Pittsburgh. I take full accountability of how I acted in Oakland. I take full accountability of how I acted with this. These other things happen, but I'm going to take full accountability on my action. I guarantee the narrative of how people perceive him be totally different because that self-accountability is what people are searching for.
I would say it will be different to a degree. I mean,
not totally. Yeah, you're right.
They would still call him a problem child, regardless if you take accountability. You get one mistake, and depending on that mistake, you may not get to come back from that mistake. And so what I see what AB's doing is you got a lot of things that he's dealing with internally, but it's about being the guy. It's hard for what I always tell people. It's hard to be at the top, and then you tend to feel like your peak is coming to an end, and your era is coming to an end, and you're not the guy no more. So sometimes mentally, you're not prepared to deal with that. And so you start to see the changes because again, in Pittsburgh, he was the guy for a long time and coming from nowhere, you got to think about it. Coming from nowhere, nobody knew AB was going to be what AB was. He fought, came out of the mud and became the best receiver in the game. And he was the guy, every notoriety, famous, big time, made some mistakes. So once you start making those mistakes, you start to see it was when the decline started to happen, where he wasn't getting a lot of touches, when other players was getting looks than he was, and then he started to feel some type of way. And then,
but you're missing a piece, though. You're missing a piece because yes, that happened, and that was 50% of it. But I'll tell you this: I watched him fall in love with the camera on Facebook Live in that locker room. It was like, it's somebody just all smelling themselves like.
Yeah, man.
It was over after that, dog. It was over.
Everybody's not Larry Fitzgerald.
You gotta look at it. You gotta understand where, like, again, if I'm coming from nothing, coming from the bottom, and I had to work my way up, and then I start to feel myself. It happens to a lot of people, man.
It does.
It's not the only one it's happening.
He's not. That's why I know the track record.
So my thing with this is, I don't know if AB is really hurt. I don't know. But what he's doing, going out there, he do got some merit about what he said about Tom. I wouldn't attack Tom because Tom Brady gave him an opportunity twice. He gave him 2 chances. So I wouldn't attack him. But even though there is some,
I would take it's enough to take him off the table.
Right.
Like, I'm not even talking about him.
Right.
Tom's my guy. I'm not even talking about him.
It's up Tom. And I think it's like, okay, he's pillow talking because his feelings is hurt.
He is.
Like, cause think about it. I'm just talking for real.
No, yeah, you're right.
Let's be honest, bro. Tom Brady, quote unquote, right now, the best of all time, the GOAT, the greatest quarterback, quote unquote, to ever play the game, based off Super Bowl stats, all that stuff. Just he's the guy. He reached out to me. You know what I'm saying? He told me, I want you to be on my team. He went to bat for me. So a part of me felt like, well, this is my dog. Well, he really care about me. Like, it could be a business move, but maybe I don't know the conversation he had. So you coming from me, he may feel like, oh, yeah, I'm going to play for Tom. That's my quarterback. You see it. Boom, 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 boom. And then you feel like the person that went to bat for you is really not really there for you. You may feel some type of way. And you get out there. The only way to get your voice and get your point of view is by speaking. And I think AB,
what could Brady have done? Right. Now I'm just asking. In the whole,
not a damn thing. Not a damn thing.
What could Brady have done? Right? You feel me? The week before, bro, I was targeting you. You've been gone for 3 weeks. So if we think about it, if we was to remove the vaccine from it, right? His ankle had been bothering. That was already, his ankle's been bothering probably since like week 4 or 5.
You said October 10th. Yep.
Right? So if you think about it, the Vax card situation had he get suspended. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise because in my head, they probably would have put him on IR anyway to let his ankle heal, rest, whatever the case is, because his ankle's been bothering. So it's been documented about his ankle. So now we fast forward. We just had a game you played, your ankle was hurt. We have another game you're playing and your ankle is hurt. Mm-hmm. As your quarterback, your boy, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to come over. I'm supposed to come to the sideline and be like, "Hey, BA,
I'm about to tell you right now.
No!
I'm telling you right now. Here we go. Gronk came back from broken or bruised ribs, fracture or something. I think it was broken or bruised. He was out for about 4 to 6 weeks. When he came back, he got damn near as many touches as if he never missed the game.
But then what happened the following week? AB got all the touches.
But what I'm saying, what I'm saying again, consistency, bro. They want, like, for a guy that used to be the number one guy and still feels like he's the number one guy.
Listen,
he wants to be consistent. We can touch about this later, but even it's like an Odell Beckham. Like they put their heart on their sleeve and they want to be consistent. They want to feel a part of the team. They want to feel like I'm the guy. Like, yo, I don't want to just be out here running no routes.
I got you.
Let me get some touches out here, bro.
So, babe, Odell Beckham, you had all that, and you complained to get yourself out of New York
because it wasn't winning.
That's your.
Everybody wants it, cake and eat it too. And, roses and sunshine.
Exactly. AB, and I'm gonna just put this out there. AB, if you don't leave the Raiders, the number one guy stuff. If you think Darren Waller is getting force-fed 20 targets a game, what you think he would have got? Because we'd be yelling at Carr like, damn, Carr, you're not going to look for no one else? I'm just, come on, Jay knows.
I already know. I was like, everything he crying about with the Patriots, the Bucks, he would have had. That's why we got no sympathy for your boy. Like, that was
I feel you. But anyway, man, we're gonna see how this AB thing follows up, but we're gonna be coming right back. It's time when we come back, we're gonna be talking about y'all boy, Reasons boy. Jay had this man on a hot seat for the longest. Is it do or die for Derek Carr? Can't wait to talk about it. And we're gonna be talking about these playoffs. Or Jimmy G and the Niners, or they're willing to risk his thumb injury for them to have an opportunity to have a seat at the table. We're gonna be talking about it when we get back at Talk That Nation, Talk That Talk podcast. We see you in a sec.